Hello and welcome again to the Hutchinson Veterans Outreach Program. I am here with Melanie Butler and we are out at the Eagle's Nest today. How you doing today?
Doing well. It's been a busy morning already, but we're getting through it.
And it's a beautiful day.
The sun is shining, that is true.
Now, from my understanding, you're going to kind of give us a tour of your little place here? Well, actually, I should say it's a big place here.
Yeah, 124 acres.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, I do believe you have dogs here.
Yep, we have our Freedom Dog House, and they just put up their fenced-in area, and they're getting ready to start training their dogs with off-leash and Project Delta to be their service dogs.
Nice.
Yeah.
I've actually worked with Pam before over at Project Delta. Beautiful woman.
Yes.
She's very kind-hearted. Now I also hear you have horses.
We do. We have Chapasi and Frisbee down at the stables, and we work with another group called Angel Reigns out of the St. Augusta area, and we take turns going back and forth. Matter of fact, in July we're going for Cowboy Church there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Wow. And you also have a whole lot of, programs that they can get into.
We do. So the Freedom Dog House was actually the idea of Jamie Stowe and Dan Klutenkamper, who first came here to heal. They said we need to train our own service dogs. So it may take us a little while to get to the end result, but their ideas and their visions and dreams of what they needed are coming to fruition. 7.5 years later, there's lots of programs. So we have a complete wood shop, we have a rock and gem studio, an art studio, a welding shop, gardening.
Wow. So you have pretty much everything that you need right down here.
We do. They keep creating it, and it's ever evolving from the clinical model to the peer-to-peer groups, vet for vet group that actually was started in Montana. I go out there every year. We do outreach out there, and it was created by Vietnam vets. It's a group that gets together with just guys talking about their time in service. So when the mission started after the VA turned my son away, the first week that I was in school, retired Adjutant General Shelito and I created the name. And, and it just stuck. So when I didn't want to do algebra, and it was really hard classes, I could pull up the logo and know that I needed to get there. And then when another veteran told me about the property, because my house and my yard was full, and said they were trying to do something out here. The Eagles flew from my house all the way here, and the first weekend that we were here, their nest was built here, so we're home.
Very nice, and you've done a great job, and I know you say that's because of the veterans, and they're the ones that are doing this.
They are.
But you started the Hope coming.
They did. It was lots of people. That's why the logo was created the way it was. It has a lot of meaning. It was created with love. And I know people, I can be a lot of things. I can give them a size 9 and I can do that, but they always know that it's with love. And we communicate in a different way. I don't say things politically correct. Sometimes I offend people, but sometimes people need to be offended. And the country as a whole, the elected officials as a whole, should be ashamed of themselves for what they do to our veterans generation after generation after generation and keep making promises that aren't kept.
Okay, so right now we're at the front of the Eagle's Nest.
Yep, that in front of the headquarters building. But that essentially is our headquarters building. That's where our volunteers come to work. Our intakes are done for every veteran that comes in so that we have the information we need to be able to help them if there's a crisis, emergency contacts, that type of thing. And then currently our female veterans are staying upstairs. and while Lady Liberty's being renovated. And then, but each thing has been done in a phase. So what you see here is the loop. So everyone usually comes up and reports to the headquarter building, but the 22 crosses represent 22 veterans according to government statistics that die to suicide every day. And what I can tell you about their number of 22, they patted themselves on the back when it went to 20 or 21, but really that number is much higher because they don't count car accidents, they don't count an overdose due to medication that they've been given, alcohol related, they don't count those as suicides. They are, contrary to what they want to those statistics to read. Yeah. So those of us with boots on the ground, but the veterans here made the crosses, the flags on them, and they are out every year, and they remain out. So when you have an elected official come, which by the way we don't allow them to come anymore, they wanted to have their pictures taken there because, you know, it's usually a photo op. A veteran's a good photo op. They're a good cause for them to be reelected. And they asked what they were. Well, if they knew anything about veterans, they would have known what the crosses meant. Exactly. So they stay up every year. But the brick and flower bed there was a creation from a Vietnam vet in honor of his dad, who was a veteran, and he built that. He had never done masonry, and his health got really bad, and he actually shared with the veterans, if something happens, here's how you need to complete it. He did complete it. He comes and visits. He has to go down south in the winter, and then the flower bed is ever evolving. So it's home, and then the bronze statue came from an amazing lady over in Alexandria, and it stays there all year round as well. So this building is Promises Made. It's the first building that we started renovating in June of 2012, the last weekend, and it is in honor of my stepfather, Charles Pounds, and the guys he served with in Vietnam that I made the promise to when I was 8. None of them are here with us today. They have all taken their lives. So it was important for me. This is a place that we dreamed about and they talked about around a campfire. So this was the first building. That weekend, 500 volunteers came here. And they brought their tools, they brought old paint, they brought furniture, and literally they just went. The Blue Star moms had a whole kitchen going, and they were feeding around the clock. It was just amazing.
So you had a lot of people helping you keep that promise.
Yeah, they all came. Our Minnesota National Guard Red Bulls, they came. Vietnam vets were here. A couple of them took it upon themselves, and they started in the barn already, and they just, and we all came together and ate together. It was just one, at that point, we were just one nest family, and that it continues today. And so there's furniture in there. The rooms, we have 6 rooms that need to be adopted yet, but everything else has already been adopted and they're getting put together. So hopefully the goal is that we'll be ready to rock and roll by August.
Now, how many females can you put in this one?
There'll be 20 will be able to live in there.
Okay.
Yep. So they can have their children here. Males and females can have their children here as well.
Now, when you say adopt a room, what do you mean?
So people will adopt a room, meaning that they'll come in and they'll furnish the whole room. So they do it from start to finish. They come in, they scrape the walls, they prime the walls, they paint them, decorate them. They pick their own theme, bring in a twin bed, a little dresser, and make it feel like home. So when we talk about a clinical model or an institution model, that's not what we are. We want it to feel like home. So literally the kitchen that is in Promises Made, the first kitchen we ever had here, I had to tell my mom that she needed to redo my kitchen at home because I took everything off the walls because it was patriotic, and I wanted it to feel like a country kitchen, so that everything is in there. So we just want it to be home.
So then you have different groups that come in to do that?
So individuals will come in and adopt them, organizations will come in and adopt them, families will, Girl Scouts, Lions, pretty much anyone that wants to do a room. Some veterans will do it in honor of another veteran that they served with. So it's all, it's just a variance. And it's really funny because Laura, who you guys all know, so she's in charge of Lady Liberty and helps up in the office as the assistant director. But when they think of a women's building, they think of flowers and pink and all of those things. And not every female thinks that way.
Mm-hmm.
They like the outdoors. They like to fish. They're warriors.
Yep.
And not that they don't enjoy pretty things, but everyone is different. So each one of our rooms is different in every building that we do.
Mostly run by the veterans that are here.
It is. So they, just like in the military, when you go in, you go there and they break you down and they build you back up and they mold you into a warrior. And then when you come home, they don't necessarily put you back to go back to your family. And so literally everything that we do here, from the projects, the Freedom Dog House was an idea by the first veterans here. They had the first 2 puppies here, Bauer and Odie. Both of those veterans have soared, and one is working in D.C.
Nice.
for the VFW, and the other is in Kansas City and built a home with his beautiful wife. So then we have the wood shop and the welding shop, and they do that, but they license themselves in the kitchen. There's no maids here. They, just like in the military, they got up every morning, they clean their rooms. Those are daily life skills, some of the things that when you're struggling with mental health go on the back burner and create a whole nother issue. And so
Exactly.
here they relearn all those. Yep.
Are starting a gardening?
We have a huge garden. We have 2 veterans, and then others help. We didn't take care of it, so you just brought them up blackberries and blueberries that they didn't have in their garden. They just planted raspberries and they have strawberries. But they really, a lot of veterans really like the back to nature. Being in the metro areas, especially with what's going on in the world today, is really putting a lot of veterans and their families in crisis. But being able to work with their hands and being able to create again is really therapeutic and helpful.
And this not only shows them that they're capable of getting back to a mental stability where they can hold themselves here, but it's also giving them skills to go out from here and soar.
Absolutely. Tony that soared from the nest, he just built a raised flower and garden for outside his apartment.
Very
so they
nice.
take those skills and they move on. Others have started their own wood shop, wood business, making different things. So they take those because it doesn't matter what diagnosis they have. That doesn't mean they're broken and they don't have task and purpose. And some of them find their healing in helping others. So like our gardens, they go and they give to the seniors in the community as well, and their jewelry, they do the same thing. So there's just a whole host of things, because when they sign, even though they might be out of the service, they still want to serve.
Exactly. Yeah, you usually don't find a veteran that's actually put time in the military that can just walk away and not still have that dedication.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And right now, in the crisis of the pandemic and all of the turmoil going on in our country right now, they're really struggling in a whole host of different ways. So when they have something therapeutic to do and create something of beauty in the wood shop or in the jewelry shop, or getting down on their hands and knees and weeding that garden or going for a ride on the horse, those are all things that can take their mind off of things for a while. And we've got lots of calls that they're just coming up for the day just to get away.
Yep. And that's so necessary sometimes, to just take a moment of time to get away, to commune with nature. But you have a very interesting way of the veterans helping the veterans.
Absolutely.
And I think that's kind of what I wanted to talk to you about. Was I noticed a lot out here, and most of the places that I've seen where veterans are getting stronger and they're actually getting back to finding more purpose within themselves is because veterans are reaching out and communicating with other veterans.
Absolutely.
They're kind of bypassing the whole medical thing, and it's, no, let's sit down, let's get real, let's talk about things that have happened, and then let's talk about how to go further from here.
Absolutely, and it's step by step. And we talk about getting away and veterans, helping veterans, and veterans reaching out to veterans. A lot of that is the fear of being locked away, the fear of having their rights taken away. So this gives them an opportunity to do that. Not that we don't have, and some veterans don't arrive here under those circumstances, but normally, if a veteran's in crisis and reaches out to a brother or sister that they served with, as long as they know they're safe,
Yep.
and they're not being judged or looked upon, or judged in that way with that stigma, they'll heal. Nobody can determine how long that is.
Exactly.
So we're getting ready to actually add 10 camper spots here, because so many want to come and that just stay, even just to visit maybe a brother or sister that they have here that's staying here to heal, to show them that they support them, and utilize a service that they might have, or their family wants to come and spend. We have a veteran whose family's coming July 8th, and he hasn't been with them for almost 3 years.
Wow.
So those are huge obstacles, and there's, they can tell you what they want, but suicide has not lowered.
No.
They are still turning veterans away, especially during this whole pandemic nightmare. But suicide numbers are up, homelessness is up, and that's just not acceptable to me. When you're told by people that work within those entities, I just got had that conversation last Friday, that their upper management told them exactly what to say so that it wouldn't appear that the system was turning them away and that they were getting their resources. How do you lie to those that you were committed to help?
Exactly.
And that's just not acceptable to me. So even through all of this pandemic, we took them in when others did not, because they deserve a place to be safe and heal and have hope, and most importantly, love. This is our Hua auditorium in honor of Ben Kopp. He was KIA. His mom, Jill Stevenson, you can find her book, Heart of the Ranger, written by Bill Lunn, that tells his story and his sacrifice to his country, but then how he lives on others as an organ donor. So this is in honor of him, and there's classrooms going down both sides, a giant auditorium, and each of the classrooms has different things in it, so that's what we'll be seeing next as soon as Jason takes you in and shows you the gym.
All right, sounds good. Right now we're in your gym that you're helping to get together, and you said all this is going to be moved downstairs.
Yep. We have tons of furniture. They're opening up the Lady Liberty, the other house, and once that's opened up, I think all of the furniture's going over there, and the gym equipment's going downstairs, and then we can play basketball in here and have the gym downstairs.
Now, when did you all start working on putting the gym together then?
This gym together?
Yeah.
Oh, let's see. I got here maybe 4 months ago, 3-4 months ago, and I really started coming in here probably the first 2 weeks I was here. So we kind of consolidated everything within the first month, and then I organized everything, set it where it is right now, and then they decided that as soon as Liberty gets done, we're moving all the furniture there, and everything that's not being moved there is going to go downstairs with the equipment, and this will be to where we can actually use it for basketball, which is what it's for.
And that's kind of a good example of how it is that the veterans are actually putting the nest together. To all pitch in.
We have a lot of freedom to, she's really let us kind of make this our home, and it's more of a home than it is, like a hospital, it feels like home.
Exactly.
So
you're helping to actually pull it together for other vets that are going to come here later.
Yeah, like, and a lot of us, you know what I mean, we joined the military from broken, you know what I mean, homes, and we wanted to get out of the situations that we were in. So it's kind of like when you lose that and you lose what you built, that, you know what I mean, or whether it was from injury or from what, you know what I mean, and then you come to a place like this where you have it again. It's like it really comes together, and then it's back like it was, you know what I mean, like
You're part of the community and a family.
Yeah, really.
So the veterans bring them in, people from the community bring in buckets. Chuck goes out and finds them as well, and then they create different beautiful things. And so he's actually working on a store that they can purchase the wind chimes, the necklaces, the earrings. I have them on today. This is the nest stone. Nice. What's it called, Chuck?
Blue lace agate.
Blue lace agate. And my earrings.
And the earrings.
Yeah. So they just make all these different projects and they try new ones. So these are some of the concrete things that he does. That looks like a piece of wood, but it's actually concrete.
Very nice.
But he does bird baths that look like a giant leaf, and tables, and
Where are they listed?
wow.
This is a coarse one, so you start with this, and then you end with something real fine like this. And then you basically take, like anything really, like these right here, these have just been cut, but like you can take these and then like grind them down and turn them into whatever shape you want.
That she brought. But Anton and Ed, who were gone all winter, brought him back buckets of rocks.
Oh, nice.
So they come from all over, and then some people will bring them in and have them process them all for him as well. It's a place that we created for veterans, military members, and their families to come and heal with honor, their own way, on their own terms, and bringing a ton of people together to give them those resources.
I know we've talked to a few veterans that were out here. One of the ladies had her child down here, and her husband is over here healing.
Yes.
And I know she said one of the most beautiful things about this place is that you have so many family get-togethers, so many family activities, and for veterans to be able to heal with their family and have that as part of their healing is extremely, well, rare, should I say. A lot of places will have, you know, the families or something come in maybe once or twice while they're, you know, rehabilitating or while they're healing. But you actually have some of the families come out and stay here.
We do. And each time it's kind of a case by case, and every veteran or family member that comes are coming for a different reason, but they're all coming with because they need to have hope again, and they need to have a place to call home and a place to heal. And so we just layer those. So yes, their families do come and stay. As the daughter and stepdaughter of a Vietnam vet, it's important. As the wife of a 2-time combat vet and as a mom of vets, the families also serve, and they have a thing called secondary PTSD because you're not sure what to do, and those resources aren't geared. It's getting better, but they weren't geared to support the family.
Exactly.
And so that's why the divorce levels are very high. And then, you know, our service members, men and women, you know, they fight for God, for country, and for family. And through the challenges of mental health, and whether that be PTSD or whether that be addiction or anxiety, any of those things, and a host of others, a lot of those families get separated, and there's a whole lot of issues. And so it's important that we support them and they heal, because then they have the tools to help their loved one.